Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is half of the recap team. This is Tannic. I haven't done this to all the rest of the video. Shout out to my boy Open Mind. Hopefully he'll be able to jump in on some of these videos sometimes, or he can do one, or we can split it up. Anyhow, we're both grown men. We both have our own responsibilities. And that's just how the way it is. Anyhow, I have time to do this. Tight ends is going to be quick. I'm not really interested in a lot of tight ends. 7,400, Travis Kelce. Not a lot of teams have been able to stop him, but 7,400 is a bit pushing it. Darren Waller, yes, everybody likes him. I just don't like picking on that Indianapolis defense. I think that 1,600 price tag is not good to go after. TJ Hockenson, he's interesting, but I don't see him going off like the way it is. Rob Gronkowski, yes, he hasn't been the old Rob. This is his first year back, but he's going up against that horrible Minnesota pass defense. At 4,800, he can get you over 10. He might get you a touchdown. He's very interesting because, like I said, in the middle of a shootout, you're going to want someone from Tampa Bay or Minnesota. Mike Gesicki. Now, you're looking at this like, why? I did a little bit of research on this. Now, I've looked at it. I think, if I'm correct, I'm not sure, Kansas City has given up 20 points or more to tight ends. Now, with Tao in the backfield, my gut is telling me that he's going to go to Mike. At 4,500, he might be able to get you a little bit off. Henry has not been that well. Now, here's one that might get overlooked. I don't think he might get overlooked. But Robert Tonyan, it's Green Bay, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's going up against Detroit. Why not? You're looking for somebody outside of Aaron Jones, Aaron Rodgers, and Devontae Adams, Alec Lazard. Robert Tonyan is your guy. Let me see, is there anyone else here that I'm interested in? Oh, Jordan Reed up against Washington. Yeah, he's interesting too. And like I said, tight end is going to be quick. Let's check on defenses real quick. I like the Saints against Philadelphia. I don't see Philly scoring a lot against the Saints. Chiefs against Miami. Yeah. My thing is Tao protects the ball. So and turnovers are drastically reduced. Packers against Stafford. No. Now, Bears against Houston, I find that interesting. Simply because Houston doesn't really have a rushing attack, so the Bears to me are interesting because they tend to just air it out and throw the ball a lot. I expect at least some interception or some type of defense from the Bears to the point where they disrupt Watson. Seahawks are interesting, but since they're not stopping anybody, the answer is no. Tampa Bay could be interesting simply because of Cousins and his will to throw picks. Yeah, Cousins will throw picks and he just keeps throwing, so he's interesting. Now, Giants against Kyler Murray. The Giants have surprisingly stepped up their defense, and I say that because they still have a playoff chance, even with their terrible record. They still have a playoff chance, and that's pretty much all the defenses I'm actually interested in. I mean, you could go with the Vikings, but I don't see them picking Brady off that much. I mean, if they pick him off, they pay the price tag off. And that would be all, everybody. Like I said, this video is going to be short. This is tight end and defensive analysis from Tanik. Happy to recap. Have a good day. And drop the like button if you like the video. Let us know that we're doing good. And hopefully I'll see you in the next week or during the show. Have a good day, everybody. What's going on, people? This is your boy Tanik. Half of the recap. Going to give you a little bit of analysis of who I'm looking at right now. Yeah, I know this is a new video. Drop a like if you like the video. Tell your friends about it. Let us know if we're doing good. Anyhow, let's just get this started. At quarterback, I'm looking at Aaron Rodgers. Now, this is just a first look. I'm just looking at the fact that, he's going up against a bad defense in Detroit. 274 in the passing game, so therefore, and rushing, Aaron Rodgers does like the scramble at times, so he should be able to do what he needs to do. That also includes Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones. This is Aaron Rodgers, $7,500. He can easily pay off that price tag, but he's a little bit expensive. Scroll down. Tom Brady. Do not play this guy in cash, please. I mean, he might be good in cash, but just particularly for this matchup against Minnesota, 24th in the league, 274. They have 25.6 points a game, so he should be able to at least throw 1 or 2 touchdowns. But at $6,900, he's a bit expensive. And Tom Brady don't really rush, I don't believe. No, I mean, he has less than 10 yards. Less than 10 yards. I mean, yes, he might be able to get a touchdown, but he has to be at the 1 in order to get it. I think he has less than 10 yards the entire season, but he does have 3 touchdowns. But I don't see Tampa Bay rushing a lot. Moving on, Justin Herbert. Against that Atlanta secondary, what is there to say? Justin Herbert has proven that he is the real deal. I mean, he just came from a bad game in New England. Some people might look off of him, but I mean, he has Keenan Allen. I think him and Keenan Allen this week should stomp the Falcons. Like, just shut him up. I mean, he might come back. He might be pissed. I mean, he had 2 picks, no touchdowns, 53 times, 209 against New England. Where in the hell did New England come from? Moving right along, Ryan Tannehill going up against Jacksonville. Jacksonville and the Titans. Tannehill should be able to get you something. He has Corey Davis, A.J. Brown, and I mean, he has Derrick Henry probably coming out of the backfield sometimes. And with Derrick Henry priced the way he is at $6,700, Ryan Tannehill and Corey Davis look very good in GPPs. I don't know, but that's just how it is. Okay, another guy, we're getting down to the nitty gritty in the bottom. He might get overlooked. Kirk Cousins. If you have not been playing him, you need to play him. Minnesota likes to throw the ball. Tampa Bay has made an emphasis on stopping the run, but you can throw the ball pretty much all day against them. He has Justin Jeffries, and he has Adam Thielen. Then he has some other weapons like Kyle Rudolph, but he also has Dalvin Cook coming out of the backfield. So I mean, Dalvin Cook might be able to get over that 74.2 yards that Tampa Bay allows per game. But it's going to be rough. Tampa Bay stops the rushing at Dalvin Cook's price. Telling you to stick to the passing game. Moving right along, Mitchell Trubisky, I know. Trust me, I know. He's not a good quarterback. He is fantasy-wise. He just doesn't produce as much as he used to, but if you look at it, he's going up against Houston. Houston has been struggling. If they allow him to be Mitchell Trubisky, the ones that we know him to be, like to run and do stuff like that and scramble outside the pocket or scramble and get more yards, he will do it. I think against this defense in Houston, he can do very good. I can't really talk about that much. Keep moving right along. I think this is going to be my last quarterback. Let me make sure. Waited. Oh, nope. I got two more. Just thought about this. Mike Glennon. He will get overlooked. A lot of people are not looking towards him because he doesn't produce as much. I mean, yes, he's making mistakes. 5,100. I'm probably looking for 15 points from him. He can get it against a very terrible Tennessee pass defense. Let's see. Nope, not gonna do it. Kirk Cousins just played him, and I think Kirk Cousins, let's see, just dropped 26 on him. So imagine if given a chance, if Mike is able to drop 26 points on Jacksonville. I mean, yes, he has DJ Clark. I think he might have Christian McCaffrey back this week. That's the biggest point there. If he has Christian McCaffrey back, I will say you might want to pick him up. And I think Christian McCaffrey is cheaper than, I haven't looked yet. He might be cheaper than Dalvin Cook. But I think Derrick Henry went down too. So this is actually a good GPP pick. I don't know who you're going to pair him with. I wouldn't pair him with anybody. But moving right along, there's one more. Yes, Sam Darnold. He will get overlooked. Nobody likes him. They don't like the fact because, he throws a ball. He throws a lot of interception. I mean, he's 5-9 of the year, but he doesn't really have anybody there. He has Jamison Crowder. Yes. If you play him, he's not safe in cash. GPP only. Play him. He is going up against the worst pass defense in the league. When he's playing, he likes to throw the ball. He will throw it. I'll say he is throwing 23 times. That is less. 23 times is as low. 42 times is as high. He's going up against Seattle. Fuck. He's going up against Seattle. I'm sorry about that. He's going up against Seattle, the worst pass defense in the league. I'm sorry. He's going up against Seattle, the worst pass defense in the league. Trust me on this. He is worth a look in tournaments. Him and Jamison Crowder is going to save you a lot of money and play it. So, quarterbacks I'm looking at is Sam Darnold, Mike Glennon, Mitchell Trubisky, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers. Now, you are probably asking me why not Deshaun Watson. I mean, yes, Deshaun Watson might get you good, but he's priced above Aaron Rodgers. He's good. Why not Russell Wilson? Yes, he's going up against the New Jersey Jets, but at 7-9, I don't think he will pay off that price as much. I mean, yes, he has a choice. It's a long shot between him, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. Yes, Seattle should win this game, and that's what I'm saying. But Sam Darnold should turn into a shootout. At 5,100, he should be able to get it. And then you have Pat Mahomes. It don't matter what defense this guy goes up against. He's going to do whatever he wants to do. That's just how it is. Alright, again, this is Daniel. This is Tanny, half of the recap team. Hopefully this analysis helps you out. Deuces. Here we go. This is half of the recap. This is Tanny giving you a little bit of analysis of what's going on week 14 slate. Going to be particularly covering the running backs, particularly this time. And if the video's not too long, I'm going to cover receivers too. But anyway, we're just going to run through these running backs and what I've seen. This is my second time going through this video, trying to record it. I'm just going to let you know right now. Alvin Kamara, he's interesting. And I don't say this lightly, simply because Philadelphia Eagles has a terrible rush defense. Now, on my last video, I did not pick up on Tyson. Tyson is actually interesting because Tyson is a dual threat quarterback who, ever since Breeze went down, he tends to run the ball 10 to 14 times a game. So he also has some interesting rushing upside. And not only that, he can also throw the ball. I don't see him excelling in that area, but 6,700, he can be interesting. I wouldn't pick him anyway because I don't believe they're going to be paying off their current price tags. Alvin Kamara, ever since Breeze went down, I wouldn't do it. Breeze come back, go for it. Right now, no. Christian McCaffrey at 9,200 going against Denver. Denver's defense, rush defense, apparently is one of the worst in the league. If you haven't realized about Christian McCaffrey, he came back from injury and he put up 28 points. He turned around, put up 27 points, got injured, came back 6 weeks later and dropped 37. He is probably about as safe as you can get. The only thing you run into is him getting injured. And at 9,200, that's a pretty much of a big risk there. So he's interesting. Derrick Henry against Jacksonville. Yes, the numbers look good, but I don't know what happened last time with Jacksonville, and they pretty much stumped them. That's why if you listen to the last video, I was saying the passing game might be interesting. I'm not sure what's going on in Jacksonville, but they stopped Derrick Henry, of all people. And it seems like his play is starting to go down. I'm assuming his workload he's being limited. This could be a bounce back week. I believe Tennessee might be playing for something. If they're playing for the playoffs, he should come out and pretty much truck this Jacksonville defense like the way he should have did the first time around. Now, believe me, he does have upside. 43 points is his best one. And his lowest for the season is 6.8, so that's a wide range of what you're going to get out of Derrick Henry. I wouldn't pay that price tag at 8,700. I think you have somebody better. Aaron Jones against Detroit, 7,600. I wouldn't play him. Hear me out on this. Yes, he scored 48 points against Detroit last time, but I also believe that's when Davante Adams went down. When Davante went down, it became the Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones show. We might as well just call it the Aaron show. Those two ripped Detroit a new asshole that day. So I don't believe that's going to replicate this week with Davante Adams back. Alright, let's moving right along. Let's see, they're saying Austin Eckler. Eckler's interesting, because he's also a receiver. And I think, you got Justin Keenum, who is probably going to be happy, who just pretty much dropped the goose egg against New England. He's probably going to be pissed. Eckler might be pissed. But I don't see him rushing a lot. I see him getting the ball in the passing game. At 7K, I wouldn't pick him. He's good and everything, but he's a little bit risky. Look here, New York Jets. I don't know what's going on with Jets. They're apparently decent or something. DeAndre Swift against Green Bay. I mean, he is interesting, but I don't know. David Montgomery. Last week, for the past 2 weeks, apparently he's been good. 28, 27. He's rushing the ball. He's getting into the end zone, and that's what you want from a running back. I mean, yes, he gets over 100 yards. That's even better, along with the 2 touchdowns. And he also is coming out of the backfield too. He's getting some looks. So he's getting his workload. He's going up against Houston. 150 yards on the ground. Allowed. On the ground. He should have a big day regardless. Coming out of the backfield and on the ground, Houston hasn't been able to stop either side defensively. Trust me, this is the 6,500. He can get you 28 points. That he's almost a deadlock. Okay. All right, Mike Davis. Now this is probably one. No. I was gonna say if Christian McCaffrey was out, he might be a good one to look at, but it doesn't look that good anyway. Moving right along. Hold up. Yeah, I'm actually interested. Ronald Jones is 6,100 against Minnesota. Doesn't receive a lot, but he runs the ball quite a bit. Let's see here. He's dropped 100 on Green Bay, Carolina, teams that were good on the ground. Okay, the Chicago one is impressive. I don't know. Ronald Jones might get you over 100, but I don't know. I'm thinking of how well has Tampa Bay been able to run. And with Brady in the backfield, I know they're passing. And like I said, the prior video, don't mind Brady. I don't mind Evans. I don't mind Godwin. I don't mind Brown. And I don't mind Gronk. So, he's in a very good situation where if they get ahead, they're going to run the ball, and he should be able to get at least 20 times. Moving right along, Jamal Williams, a little bit too high, unless he is. Ever since Aaron came back, his production is down. Jonathan Taylor, I am interested in him. Simply because he is pass catching back, and he's also a rusher. He's getting the ball 10, 20 touches. And he's going up against Houston's defense. I mean, they say output 2, week 2. Let me see. They didn't play Houston. So what is they talking about? Taylor Gash from the Houston defense at point yards. Might he carry the best rushing up since week 2. Wait. Okay, that was Houston. He's playing against the Raiders this week. Raiders, they're good, but he's at 5,800. If he drops 15, that's 3x, 3. I mean, he drops 20, that's 4. At 5,800, he should be able to pay that price off. He's good. Myles Gaskin against Kansas City. He might go overlooked. With no Fritz magic in the backfield, Dolphins are running the ball. They are running the ball, and when they run the ball, Gaskins tends to touch the ball 10, 20 times a game. Maybe more than that, maybe more like 15 or something. So, I mean, you should. Yeah, 5,600, he should be able to pay that price off. Maybe even get you more. His Ceiling has been 20, but at 5,600, 20 points is almost 4x. Not a bad deal. Let's keep on going. Kenyon Drake against the Giants. No, Giants defense have just come out of nowhere. Apparently they're good. Hines is interesting too because he gets a touchdown. He's either rushing or passing, or he's getting a lot of activity somewhere. Rushing, passing, or running the ball in. He gets activity. So against Raiders at 5,200, I'm interested a little bit. Melvin Gordon going up against Carolina. I don't know. Adrian Peterson going up against Green Bay. If DeAndre Swift comes back, I'm not going to be interested at 5,000. He has been able to get me over 10 points. He's giving you 17. I believe that's what you want, but he's not a high output person. Todd Gurley is pretty much just dropped off the map. And however, I like what I just read. Moore said that Gurley handled a situational role as a run and pass protector during last week's 26-16 loss to the Saints, in which he to blah 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 blah. That's analysis. If you look at the update, he said Monday he expects Gurley to have a larger role during Sunday's road game against the Chargers. You need to look at this guy, because if Chargers rush defenses and all that good, then if he's able to touch the ball 23 times like you see up in here, Atlanta, he should be able to give you the best. He might break the slate depending upon what he do, because at 4,800 he gets you 20 or more points. You're looking at that, okay, that's 20 or more points. You don't get it. You can use that money that you're saving towards another position. Anyhow, don't forget Louis Fournette going up against Minnesota. And I believe that is it. Anyway, let's scroll it up. Let's look what I was looking at. Fournette, Todd Gurley second, 4,800. As I go through this, I'm very interested. Adrian Peterson, if Swift doesn't play. Hines, Gordon, just a little bit, but not a lot. Myles Gaskin, Jonathan Taylor, Ronald Jones, David Montgomery, Austin Eckler is interesting. Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry, and Christian McCaffrey. I say Derrick Henry, put him in because it's Derrick Henry. I don't know what he's going to do until he touches the ball. I say Christian McCaffrey because it's 9,200. Christian McCaffrey, if you was been playing for a while last year, this man was dropping 50s at 10,000 every day, every week. It didn't matter who it was. If it was the best defense in the league, he dropped 50 points on you regardless. That's why I say at 9,200, if he drops 50, you can't get mad at that. And that's why if you go Todd Gurley, you can also pick up Christian McCaffrey if he actually plays. Anyhow, this is what I have for the recap as my analysis as I go into week 14 for running backs. Check out the next video. What's going on, everybody? This is Tannic. Half of the recap. Giving you another video. This is actually my first time I actually do this. And the more we go on, hopefully the more I go on, the more better I would get at this. Probably throw on some few things too. Anyhow, let's jump right into it. Into the receivers analysis. Detroit, Davante Adams, and Detroit. Nobody has been able to stop Davante Adams when he faces like a weak secondary. He tends to just go off. I don't like, that 44.6 at the beginning. Against Detroit's passing secondary, whatever you want to call it, the Cubs, whatever the fuck it is. I don't see them stopping Davante Adams on this. Literally, they put 3 people on him and houses or get open. And then they also have Robert Tanya as a tight end, who's very interesting to worry about too. I don't see them stopping Davante Adams, so he's interesting to me. Keenan Allen going up against the Falcons. One of the worst pass defenses in the league. Justin Herbert just came off a bad week. I think 7,700 is too cheap for him. Simply because of what he can do. You know he's going to get the volume. You know he's going to get thrown to at least 9 times. Unless he gets injured. Minimum is 9 times, max is 19. Unless the Falcons decide to, they're going to try to make this game interesting. I don't see Keenan Allen being stopped at all. I just don't. I just can't see it. Not with his work. Not with the ball keeps coming to him. Not knowing the fact that Atlanta has the worst pass defense. I don't see him being stopped. So he's a good one. Justin Jefferson. This guy here. Jesus. Not only that, he's going up against Tampa Bay's pass defense. If you heard me earlier, Minnesota likes to throw the ball. And with that bad defense, I believe this is going to be a shootout. So, Justin Jeffries, once we get to Adam Thielen, I'm not going to even say anything about it. Those 2 guys are in very good positions and they can excel, especially against a shootout between Cousins and Brady. Those 2 quarterbacks are also in play. Now, if they don't throw a lot of picks or just something like defense to just magically step up, this game between Minnesota and Tampa Bay could break the slate. However, though, please know that the Tampa Bay receivers are cheaper than the Vikings receivers, and therefore you can pick them up and save somewhere else. Anyway, Justin Jeffries is not a lot. It's good. Tennessee against Jacksonville. Now, A.J. Brown did not play the first time, but I think Tannehill likes to throw it to him. But at 7,300, I think he's overpriced. If they stop Derrick Henry, I think A.J. Brown, for his price, he's overpriced. He's in a good position. He might excel. He might blow that out of the water, but I think he's overpriced. Tyler Lockett, I didn't even pick up on that. Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson going up against the New York Jets. Statistically, they're supposed to have the worst pass defense in the league, but with the season winding down, it seems like teams that have something to play for, they are playing for it, and they ain't playing. Tyler Lockett at 7,200 is interesting. He early in the year he dropped 56, so he does have that ceiling, but he also has a very low floor at 5 points, and lately it seems like he hasn't been able to do much. Anyway, with that, after looking at that makes Tyreek Hill. Tyreek might go off. Yeah, the past few games he's been getting 10 targets, but 8,500, that's a bit much. That's like I said with Justin Jeffries. Adam Thielen is interesting too, because he's going up against Tampa Bay. Alright, let's see here. Allen Robinson against an atrocious not atrocious, but against the Houston pass defense. Not the best in the league, but at 6,800 he could go underlooked. And he's dropped 31. So it's very possible him and Mitch can connect on a lot, and he tends to he gets his targets. He got 7 last game, but I think because the Lions doubled down on him, not sure. But I find them interesting. That's just me. Could go on their own. Knock your socks off with it. Nope, not against that defense. Mike Evans. Targets alone have me interested in him. Minnesota pass defense isn't the best statistically. At 6,600, Mike Evans' price, production, and everything pretty much looks fantastic right now. At 6,600, he could be your best receiver. That includes Chris Godwin if he plays. Like I told you, Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown in the last game did not get the targets. But is it just me or does Brady don't mind throwing to him? I think they probably doubled down on him or did something. But 5 targets, 3 targets. The prior 2 games, he got 13 and 8. And at 5,500. Brown hasn't seen the end zone, which is probably the issue with Brown. He has to get into the end zone. I don't see him with the receiving cores of Evans, Godwin, and him. Brady has all the options, and if you actually played with a Brady offense, you just don't know which receiver he's going to throw to. But he's been consistently throwing at Godwin and Mr. Evans. Moving right along. Let's see here. No. Oh yeah, Corey Davis against Jacksonville. Might not be the best looking guy in the world at 5,700. If he gets you 1 or 2 touchdowns, he breaks free for a big one. You can't really go wrong there. He should, at 5,700, I don't see too much of a risk. He gets a touchdown, that's good. Jamison Crowder. Now, 5,400. He's going to get at least 7 targets, and he's going up against the Seattle pass defense, the worst pass defense in the league. I don't see how you cannot like him at that price, unless Seattle becomes better overnight, or they do something. Sam Darnold I believe is going to throw the ball quite a bit to Jamison Crowder. 5,400, the guy can get you 27, 28 points. He can get you over 20, or he can floor it at 2. Either way, if you're looking into tournaments, this is a guy you can take a risk on. DJ Clark, he's interesting. Now, let me see. Nope. Alan Lazard, yes. Yes, I kind of agree. Davante Adams back, he's getting 3 to 4 targets. But I also believe that if Detroit miraculously shut down Davante Adams, Mr. Lazard here should have a career day, because I just believe he's a good receiver. He's made a name for himself, and he should be able to do something. See here, Boyd is cheap, but no. Okay, I'm just gonna say something about the Cincinnati receivers here. Now, Jordan Barrow's gone. Cincinnati has pretty much been dirt since he's been hurt. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. They have been dirt since he's been hurt, but they're so cheap. They get their targets. If you're looking for salary savers, those are the guys you want to look at. Also, don't forget about Mike Williams down here. Don't expect a lot of volume coming that way. Let's see here. I would say Darius Slater, but there's no point. Let's see, we'll get Anthony Miller. Anthony Miller is interesting at 3,900. See, look what he did last time against Detroit. This is when Mitchell was quarterback. And Mitchell tends to throw the ball to him too, since he's been back. 5 and 6, 3,900, salary saver, could be the best guy on the slate. Anyway, let's do a little bit something. Let's do a little bit backing up. Let's see. Is anyone else interesting? No. Alright, going back up. Who did I say here? Anthony Miller for Chicago. Mike Miller. He's risky because he doesn't get a lot of targets. Cincinnati are salary savers. Simply because they get the ball thrown to him. Allen Lazard. He's good. Hold up. I don't know why Hilton. Okay. 5,100. That's like an anomaly. I'm not sure if he's going to get the ball that much this time around. He might be extremely popular. I think I'm going to stay away from him. Jamison Crowder, Antonio Brown, Corey Davis, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen, Tyler Lockett, A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson. Okay, let me not. 7,600. DeAndre Hopkins is interesting, just to let you know. Keenan Allen is not far from a lock. DG Metcalf at 8,400. He's interesting. And Devontae Adams. Alright, this is half of the recap. This is my wide receiver analysis before everything comes out. Have a good time. Have a good day, everybody.